Nvidia earnings is here, the most important earnings of the season. Are we going to get a mention about SpaceX? Is this the beginning of the carry trade? Everybody getting excited, buying, and then dump. Well, there's a good reason why I'm out of the market right now. I'm all in, but I'm all out. What does that look like to you? I've got $500,000. This is just my broker. In fact, nearly 800,000. That's just the main brokerage part. Plus, I've also got my Roth IRA and my ISA. But $800,000 invested. And what does that look like? Well, if you know what that is, let me know in the chat. But get ready for an explosive afternoon. The Nvidia earnings, the most important earnings of the season. We're going to cover it live. We've got the cheat sheet from the newsletter. We've got the 10 facts, we've got the live phone in, we've got the live event itself. So let's get straight into it right now. Tap the like button and consider subscribing, because if you do, as you know, if you do all of these wonderful things, we like to say thank you with the little fellas. Here they are. Tap the like button and the little fellas pop out just to say hello. There you go. Done that? All right, good stuff. Let's get straight into the Nvidia earnings. It's going to be massive. I'm very excited by today. I hope you are too. The most important earnings report on earth. One company, one earnings call, and it has the power to move every major stock market on the planet in minutes. That's what we're walking in today. With everything else the way it is, this is pivotal. We are not talking about the Federal Reserve. We are not talking about the US Treasury. We are talking about a chip maker based in Santa Clara, California. And tonight, or this week, they're going to report, and we're going to get information after the report as well. We'll be covering it tomorrow on the earnings. So if you think this is just another tech story, you're about to find out how wrong that assumption is. Stay with me for the next 20 minutes of all the facts. Then we got the earnings itself, because by the end of this live event, you are going to understand something that most retail investors and frankly, most people on financial TV are completely missing about what Nvidia earnings actually means right now. And I promise you, there is one angle in this live event that almost nobody is talking about. An angle that could matter more than any number you're going to get in tonight's earnings. Nvidia puts it out. I will get it to you the second it does. But first, let us build the foundation. Are you ready? Okay, I'm going to go through all the facts, all the numbers, all the details, everything you need to know. But right after this, it gives you just time to tap the like button and consider subscribing. We had the live phone in, all the facts, the cheat sheet from our newsletter, you name it. Let's rock and roll. And it comes up right after this message.
Through Super Chat.
Thank you.
Don't be an umpty bellend. Follow Martyn.
I've also got some updates about a terrible 24 hours I've spent with Robinhood, and I'll tell you all about it. I've actually got policy change as well. Another super chat. It's going to be mental today. I cannot believe it. I've got so much to share with you later on. But for now, listen to this.
At Hafra09 tipped £10 through Super Chat. Thank you for this, Martyn. Love to you and all, Teddy.
Thank you so much indeed. I really appreciate that. It's been a very tough day. I've now got policy change at Robinhood. That comes out later, but right now it's the Nvidia earnings. So if you are watching later, skip through this. You can do it, but right now, put the kettle on. Get ready for 10 facts, all the information, the cheat sheets, everything, and the live earnings, and a full breakdown of what Nvidia means to SpaceX and the carry trade. Are you ready? Let's go. Skip this through if you are joining later. It's showtime. Nvidia earnings. We're going to bring you the most comprehensive, the most detailed, and the most useful for your time Nvidia earnings on earth. I promise you that. I'm going to give you more than you're going to get anywhere else, with a live phone in, everything live, unedited, unscripted, all the 10 facts, all the things fact checked directly. Today I've been talking directly with Robinhood about a terrible crypto scam. I'll be bringing that to you later on today, if not tomorrow morning after the Nvidia earnings. Stand by for that. That's why I wasn't live this morning. I've got all the information around Nvidia. I've got the cheat sheet. I've got the discount code if you want to get the cheat sheet for the Nvidia earnings live itself. Everything that you need. Everything. Let's get ready to go. Is this the beginning of the carry trade? Well, a lot of people now think so. More and more, I'm out of the market completely. I've got $800,000. That's just the brokerage. Then you've got the Roth, my crypto, my ISA, 800 grand in total. What does that look like? That is treasury bills, short-term treasury. I've beaten the market 3 to 4x this year, 3 years in a row, 67% this year. You heard that right, 67% this year. I've beaten the market. Incredible. Just by buying the S&P and Coca-Cola at the right time and trading it effectively. I always get the bottom. I don't focus on the top. Always. And we share it and we teach it every day for a couple of bucks. I give it to you in Discord. That's how confident we are. So Nvidia earnings is coming up. We're going to get all the numbers. Let's get straight into it. We've got the cheat sheet from the newsletter. We're going to be going there in a minute, giving you all the numbers that you need to look out for to be able to trade and invest wisely, plus all the information from my 10 facts. Are you ready? Let's go. Everyone smash the like button. And we just got a new member, Dr. Bird. Thank you so much indeed. I will give you all your perks and benefits later, and all of my members can call into the show, leave live comments. That will be shared on the show as well. So let's go. Part 1. Why tonight changes everything. Nvidia used to be a graphics card company. Gamers knew it. You may remember those days. Developers knew it. And that was more or less it. That world no longer exists. Nvidia is now one of the most systematically important companies in global financial markets. When Nvidia reports earnings, the ripple effects touch the Nasdaq, the S&P 500, AI-related stocks, cryptocurrency markets, semiconductor indices, and even pension funds with passive exposure to US equities. All of it, the whole kit and caboodle. Everything tonight could move because I believe we're on the edge of a carry trade unwind and a recession because inflation's going through the roof. Rates are now being spoken about, whispered about, going up in July. The very opposite of what Donald Trump wants, all right? So everything could change tonight within seconds of the numbers dropping. Think about that for a moment. A company that makes chips, physical pieces of silicon, now functions as a barometer for the global market, the entire global investment cycle around artificial intelligence. And that cycle is worth trillions of dollars. And that's what people have been using free Japan yen to buy for a long while now. American equities, bonds, and they're already being dumped. We've got the rate hikes coming on June 17th. We're going to be there for it. The Japan rate decision. So the question going into this earnings report is not simply whether Nvidia makes money. Of course they make money. They make a lot of money. The question is what these numbers tell us about the future of AI spending, the health of the technology sector, and whether the most crowded trade in a generation is still intact or quietly beginning to crack. Let me walk you through the 10 things you need to understand. Plus, we got the cheat sheet from the newsletter. If you want it, there it is, 40% discount dropped in the chat for you. Someone just said, what time is the earnings report? The earnings report is right now. We're covering it. The actual numbers will be out in seconds. Then the report is in an hour's time. And all of it is built into this show live. So please stand by. Here we go. So what you need to understand before you read another headline, don't go on social media. You're not going to hear anything useful. I spent the day today talking to Robinhood. I've got an awful crypto scam to share with you later on. Anyway, part two, the 10 facts you need to know. Fact 1, Wall Street is listening for one thing. The core story driving Nvidia's valuation has always been AI demand. And specifically, whether the biggest technology companies on the planet are still spending aggressively on AI infrastructure. Microsoft, Amazon, Meta, Google, these are Nvidia's most important customers. But listen out tonight. I told you about what went on in China. We had the word from the street. We had the word from my White House contact. Jensen Huang was over there in China with Elon Musk whispering in his ear about the IPO of SpaceX. You will get a mention of that tonight. I mentioned it. You will get a nod to that tonight, and that will tell you what Elon wants from Jensen tonight. Lot of money, lot going on behind the scenes. You will discover it tonight in the event. So those players we just spoke about, is there appetite still in it for AI GPUs? Is this still growing? The story continues if that's the case. If it is slowing, even just slightly, the narrative changes overnight. Now, it only has to shift a tiny bit because we're priced to perfection once again. This could sell off. And if it does, this could trigger the carry trade unwind. I think we're going to have it in September, October. But on June the 16th, in just a couple of weeks' time, we're going to hear from Japan. Are they raising rates? There's a very good chance they are. Scott Bessent has been told to go back to Japan and beg them not to do it. Anyway, every analyst on the earnings call will be listening for the language around hyperscaler demand. Not just the revenue numbers, the language, the tone, the forward commentary. That is where the real signal lives. Let me now give you fact number 2. Blackwell is the product that decides the decade for Nvidia. Blackwell, the next generation chip architecture. Blackwell is the most anticipated product launch in the semiconductor industry right now. Markets want confirmation that Blackwell shipments are ramping smoothly. Earlier concerns around production delays and supply chain bottlenecks created uncertainty. The market doesn't want it. If Jensen Huang stands up on this call and tells the world that Blackwell is shipping at scale, on time, with strong margins, that is a massively bullish signal. If he hedges, if there are qualifications, now I've already told you there are conversations, and there were conversations in China with the Trump circus, because there was no deal. Elon was going along to chat with Jensen about this very thing and look like we're in control when we're not. I think, and I'm telling you now from my own internal sources, what I think is, you'll hear about it tonight, I think, on the call. Elon had a little word in Jensen's ear, maybe some money went from place to place, and talk about the potential for growth due to an upcoming IPO of somebody to do with space. All right, that will keep this stock up. Without that mention, there could be something quite dramatic tonight. So be prepared for all this. Be prepared for whatever happens. So if we do get all of this good stuff about the Blackwell, markets will notice immediately, but they'll also notice if we don't. Fact number 3, Gross margins are the health check. Nobody explains this. Is the number one I want you to pay attention to. Now, I focus on this. As you know, I like to look at the numbers. I'm always looking at balance sheets, all right? The intrinsic valuation for Nvidia right now on my model is $174, 21% overvalued. Remember that. I like to also share with you the actual margins. We don't make this stuff up. These are our real numbers. We're 98% profitability. It is the most profitable business in the world. All right. They're not going bust. 82% solvency. They're going nowhere. But let's look at those margins just for a moment. All right, we know about the operating income, the net income. Do I hardly need to show you? I think we all know. But what I'm focusing on is the balance sheet. I love the balance sheet. There it is, nice and shiny. Is this. The gross margin, 71% is the beginning of the story. But where is the net margin now? 55%. Been going flat and we dipped recently. Look at that. Interesting for a stock so elevated on price. If we get a dip from this, this could be the trigger we've been waiting for. So be careful. I just thought I'd just show you that because people don't focus on that net margin very often. Anyway, gross margins tell you how profitable each dollar of revenue actually is. If Nvidia's margins stay strong, that's great. If they start to wobble, we're in trouble. Somewhere in that 70+% territory, it tells the markets that pricing power is intact. Demand is real and the business is healthy at its core. That's important. But if margins compress by any amount, because we are priced for perfection, even by a few percentage points, traders interpret that as a warning sign. It suggests either costs are rising, competition is heating up, or pricing pressure is emerging. Now, in a market priced for perfection, which is where we are now, a margin miss can hit harder than a revenue miss. Let's move on now to fact number 4. The guidance is always more important than the earnings. Nvidia almost always beats on earnings estimates. This is always and almost a given at this point. Wall Street has got very good at undermodeling Nvidia, because being wrong in the wrong direction is more embarrassing than being wrong by underestimating. Understand all of this is about keeping face. So the beat itself rarely moves the stock dramatically. Now you understand why it doesn't really do much each time. So what comes in the guidance and what comes in the tone and the language. Also, this could trigger the carry trade. This could really start to accelerate it. What moves the stock? What has historically caused the most violent reactions is the guidance. Like I've just explained, is the language. What does Nvidia project for the next quarter? We just got a gifted some jewels. Thank you so much indeed for the support. All these little jewels that you do in the channel, they promote the channel, they promote the video, it goes to more people. Could everyone tap the like button, please? I think everyone's asleep. We got 500 people and only 85 likes. If we don't get this up, I'm not going to show you the cheat sheet directly from our newsletter, how you can trade this. So get ready for some explosive numbers tonight. Perhaps more importantly, though, I want to share this with you. What is Jensen Huang's tone? How is he going to speak? How is he going to deliver? What language? All right. When he delivers it, is it confident, expansive, optimistic? And remember, Jensen is the best salesman on earth. Not quite as crazy as Alex Karp, by the way. He's just all out a salesman, but nevertheless, he is a very good speaker for his company. Or is there any caveat, any hesitation, any softening in the language? Markets read those signals in real time. Fact number 5, every AI adjacent stock lives or dies by these numbers. And I really mean that tonight. Nvidia's earnings are not just Nvidia's earnings. Nvidia's earnings affect the entire AI infrastructure. Trade is on the line. server manufacturers, power grid companies, data center operators, cooling technology firms, semiconductor equipment makers, all of them are correlated to the AI spending cycle that Nvidia either validates or questions. A strong Nvidia report does not just lift Nvidia stock. It does a lot more than that. It sends a signal across an entire ecosystem of companies that the build out continues. Will it continue tonight? A weak report or even a cautious one can cascade through the ecosystem with surprising speed. Now then, before I go on to fact 6, I'm going to jump over to our cheat sheet and then we're going to continue with the facts. This is from our very own award-winning newsletter, Sensei, number 2 in the bestseller on Substack. Talks regularly to Michael Burry. We're very proud to have this partnership with Sensei. It's also included in our Discord server where we do something pretty amazing. We always try to undersell and overdeliver. In the chat tonight, pinned to the top, you can see my Discord. We have a Discord server we could sell for $1,000. We give it to you for a couple of bucks because I make money from investing. Real money investing. I started with $5,000. Here's my live position coming on the screen right now. Got to do my face. There we go. This is my real money, my live money. There it is, 725,000. I started with 5,000. I never do options. I never do shorts, and I've made no money on crypto whatsoever. Lots of trades, but my overall position is not included in this. This is all of my money in total, from 5,000 to 725,000. Now, because I make money, I don't need to sell programs. I give it to you for near free. In fact, it is free if you take out the cost of the commission and the tax. We just do it to keep the bots out. If you want to join me on Discord, we only allow a couple of people a day to join our server because I provide one-on-one service. 3 o'clock in the morning when I'm trading, I'm sharing with you all of my trades. Every trade, before and as and after I do it. 2 stage events every day. Not today, I'm sorry. I've been on the phone all day to Robinhood, a big scam in crypto, and I'm very sorry about it. I'm going to bring it to you as soon as possible at the end of this, if not tomorrow morning. But I will share it tonight with my Discordians, of course, because you get those live events every day. Awful news I found out today. Anyway, if you want to join me on Discord, click on the Discord link. I've just dropped it in the chat. A couple of bucks. If you go pro, there's no price increase ever. There's no inflation ever. It's no AI. It's no bots. And it's all just great information from real investors. We just want to help people and be the best, most honest, real YouTube TV channel in the world. That's my aim. That's why I'm here every day. So let's go over to our cheat sheet and then I'll come back to fact number 6 in a second. So here we go. Nvidia Q1. The cheat sheet. Everything you now need to trade successfully in our award-winning newsletter. You won't find this on X. We don't do that sort of stuff at all. If you want to follow me on X, you get all of my little clips from the show. So if you want to get a little snippet, or Instagram, by the way. If anyone's from Instagram, I'm going viral at the moment on Instagram. It's absolutely wonderful. I just started it and I've gone from like no followers to like nearly 5,000 in like a few days. It's amazing. So if you want to follow me on Instagram, you get all my little clips, all my little shorts. Anyway, thank you for the subscribers. Tom Ewing, thank you. Everything you need to know before the print, all in one place. The most watched print cycle of the quarter lands right now. The press release crosses around 4:20, which is in about 10 minutes. We will bring it to you in a second, all right? So please stand by. Another subscriber. Thank you so much indeed. All right, Nvidia closed last week at an all-time high, 236 before slipping back to 222. Heading in about 6%. Of last week's gains are already gone before management has spoken a word. The company right now, here is our cheat sheet. We'll come back to fact 6 in a second. Nvidia designs and tells the chips that train and run modern artificial intelligence systems. Its current platform, Blackwell, is in full volume production. The next one, Vera Rubin, started sampling earlier this year and ramps in the second half of 2026. 4 reporting segments exist, but only one really matters. Data center revenue made up 91% of the total last quarter at $62.8 $1.3 billion, up 75% year on year. Gaming, professional, visualization, and automotive together account for less than 10%. The four largest hyperscalers, Alphabet, Amazon, Meta, Microsoft, make up just over half of data center revenue. And their combined 2026 capital expenditure is on track to approach $700 billion. The biggest development since the last report, the US cleared roughly 10 Chinese firms to buy H200 chips under a licensing structure that routes 25% of revenue to US treasuries. No chips have actually shipped yet. Remember that. All right, now I've got some charts here for you, some information. Now, if you are on our newsletter, I'll give it to you right now. There is a newsletter. You get 40% discount. All our Discordians, of course, always get the best deal. You can follow along with all this, our cheat sheet, and you can appreciate the information in further detail. We're trying to bring you the most comprehensive information on Nvidia tonight. So let me go back to those facts. Fact number 6. I'll come back to the cheat sheet in a second. Fact number 6. China is a wild card. Every single time US export restrictions have limited Nvidia's ability to sell its most advanced chips into China. But China remains a significant market, and the commentary around it matters enormously. What went on in China? I can tell you, because I have some friends at the, I have a White House press room contact. I've been on the phone all day to Robin Hood today. That's why there was no opening bell show. Big scam in crypto. I'll bring that to you later. It's why I'm currently out of everything. I'm all in. You can see here, this is my position. I'm all in treasury bills because I'm convinced a carry trade and a major crash is just around the corner. All right, we'll come back to that later. But right now we're focusing on Nvidia. So tonight matters enormously. The exports, our export controls tightening further. Is there any movement towards relaxation of that? Is Nvidia finding a workaround through alternative product lines for that market? Any update on China exposure, positive or negative, can move the stock and the broader semiconductor sector. It also is geopolitical story, not just a commercial one, which means its implications extend beyond just one earnings. And tonight, because of oil and energy and the carry trade and inflation and everything else, this could be a pivotal moment. I am prepared for it. Michael Burry predicts it. I've predicted it for a year. No rate cuts. In fact, this is a great time live in the show as we have a large audience, 1,000 people now watching. In the chat, I would like to ask my Discordians, my members, 98% of my viewers are members, by the way. We have the highest engagement rate of any channel in the world. And our membership is only a couple of bucks, never goes up, live stuff all the time, unedited, unscripted. I'm going to ask you a question for the 1,000 people that are watching right now. Have I said for 12 months there will be no rate cuts in 2026? Have I shared? If any one of these answers is untrue or a scam or a lie or something, please say so in the chat. Yes or no. Have I said for a year there'll be no rate cuts in 2026? Have I shown you all my trades? Have all my trades been winning trades? Have I shared it all on Discord? Have all my price predictions come true? Please, please, please fact check me. We have that verification tick on YouTube, not just the 100,000 plaque, but we have, more importantly, the verification tick on our channel, which means genuine and authentic. So I want to be fact checked live on the show. Please do that if you can. Thank you very much for our 1,000 people watching tonight. Here is fact number 7, and then we'll go back to the cheat sheet. The numbers will be out any second now, and then we've got the live earnings call. Stand by. Fact 7, big tech CapEx is now a market-wide concern. The largest technology companies in the world are spending hundreds of billions of dollars on AI infrastructure. That capital expenditure has been the fuel driving Nvidia's growth, but markets are becoming increasingly alert to any sign that this spending pace might moderate. And if it does, we're coming down. If any of the hyperscalers have hinted at CapEx discipline on their own earnings calls, and some of them have mentioned it, investors will be listening to Nvidia's call for any corroboration on that trend. A slowdown in big tech tonight, anything at all, AI spending is the single biggest risk to Nvidia's growth. Thank you for the new subscriber. Nvidia's growth narrative right now. Here's fact number 8. I'm speeding it up because we've got the earnings, we've got the breakdown, the cheat sheet, and the numbers itself. Fact number 8. Nvidia is now a macroeconomic asset. I want you to really absorb this one. Nvidia is no longer simply a technology stock. It is a macroeconomic variable. Its weighting, its major indices has grown to the point where its movement influences bond yields. And this is important. I've been discussing the bonds today with the banks, and I'm very, very concerned about it. Let me just go over, and I'm going to keep refreshing this screen for latest information from coming in from Nvidia. Anyway, bond yields is where it's at, and no one is even paying attention to it. Bond yields affects ETF flows. It shifts pension allocation decisions and drives retail speculation patterns globally. When an Nvidia moves sharply in either direction, it creates second and third order effects through passive investing that touch millions of people who have never consciously made a decision about Nvidia at all. That is how embedded this company has become. We are watching very, very closely. Intuit non-GAAP EPS of $12.80 beats by 23 cents, revenue of 8.56 beat by 20 million. I'm going to keep my eye on it. Okay, so fact number 9, we're nearly there. Thank you for the subscriber, 28 Coldwell. Fact number 9, even a beat can be a sell. This is one of the most controversial. Jeff Bezos backs the limiting taxes. Okay, I've got that. Yeah, we heard about that earlier on today. I've just got that coming through. This could affect the market more than anything else if we get, even if we get a beat tonight. All right, so one of the most important things to understand, Nvidia can report record revenue tonight, record earnings per share, and strong forward guidance, and the stock can still fall immediately after the report. Why? Because the price already reflected. Intuit revenue climbs 10% year on year. Intuit has just climbed 10% year on year. Okay, already reflected those expectations and more. It's already baked in. And with the bonds already breaking, and with the inflation and the energy shock, we are at the edge of the greatest carry trade and market crash ever in history. And I've been predicting this. We're talking to Michael Burry. It's why I've sold my position. I've got $800,000 now, all in short-term treasuries like Warren Buffett. And by the way, in case you're wondering, I've beaten the market 3 years on a row, 67% this year. No options, no shorts, no guessing, no gambling. None of that is crypto. That is all by buying the S&P and Coca-Cola at the bottom each time. And I always get the bottom. Always. I never bother about the top. All right? 3 years in a row, I've beaten the market. 3 or 4x. In fact, way more than 3 or 4x. Anyway, so when positioning becomes extreme, when everyone is already long and fully invested, there is nobody left to buy. And when everyone starts asking whether the ceiling has been reached, even good news gets sold. Here we are. Fact number 10. We're going to go back to our cheat sheet in a second. I'm getting information coming in left, right, and center. I'm fact checking it and verifying it in real time, live on the show before I bring it to you. Fact number 10. Let's get straight into it. Post-earnings, volatility is historically severe. Do not be surprised by large moves. Nvidia's options market typically price in significant expected movement around earnings, often in the range of 8 to 12% in a single session. Understand that with everything else we've got, with the bonds and everything else, this could start the carry trade force sell-off. All right, just remember that. Sometimes even more. This is not unusual for Nvidia. It is the norm. Watch the price any second now. We've got 2 minutes to go. The size of the move tells you less than the direction and the reason behind it. A 10% move up on strong guidance is very, very different indeed. From a 10% move down on margin compression, understand what you are watching before you react to it. AVEX gap. EPS of 22 cents beats by 0.06. Revenue of 216 beats by 15 million. That is AVEX. Also another beat tonight. Very interesting stuff. Okay, so part 3 of this story. I'm going to go back in a second to the cheat sheet. We've done the 10 facts. So part 3, 2 scenarios, 2 markets. Get ready for this. Retail reality, market reality. Let me give you 2 clear pictures of where markets go from here. This is after all our information, talking directly with the banks. Today, I've been off all day talking about an awful crypto scam with Robinhood. I'll be sharing that later on with you. It's why I'm out of crypto at the moment. I made money on all my trades, by the way, but I'm out of it at the moment. So where do we go from here? Because this earnings report is genuinely the path to everything. It can be ultimately bullish or it can destroy the market. So the guidance comes in ahead of estimates. Imagine that. Guidance comes in ahead of estimates, and Blackwell demand is as described as exceptional. Gross margins hold above 70%. There's a big issue here. Hyperscalers AI spending is described as accelerating. In that world, the NASDAQ breaks the new highs within days. Semiconductors and AI infrastructure stocks all move really hard. Great. Risk assets, broadly including crypto, get a lift. This is great. This is great. And a global FOMO, fear of missing out, ignites another leg of the AI trade. This is the good side, the bearish case. Guidance misses or management turns cautious. Blackwell delays are mentioned or supply is hedged. Gross margin compression. Another all-time high for eBay as the GameStop bid creates a trading floor. I've got some information coming from GameStop. I'll bring you more as that comes in. So hyperscalers spending commentary softens. This is the bearish case. In that world, a major tech sell-off unfolds within 24 to 48 hours. Leveraged AI positions unwind rapidly. This could cause the carry trade right here tonight, even before a June 16th rate hike, and I think we're going to get it. Pretty much everyone thinks we're going to get it. We're going to get no rate cuts this year. It's already now a conversation about bringing in rates as well, raising rates as well with the Fed. So, and we're also going to test the Fed, and we got inflation, and we've got oil shock and everything else, and there's no end to the war. In fact, now Iran are now claiming they're winning, and to be fair, they are. They're getting more money out of the US. It's costing the US billions a day now. So anyway, crypto risk asset seat pressure. Apple uses AI and human reviews to prevent 2.2 billion in potential app store fraud. That was some news I was covering this morning. It's just getting updated now. There goes Nvidia, down 1%. Stand by for the numbers. Let's look at my treasury bills. I'm holding all of it, 800 grand in treasury bills. If you could, folks, please, everyone, tap the like button. Do it right now. We're about to go live to the earnings call. Could everyone tap the like button and please subscribe to the channel? It really makes a huge difference. Unedited, unscripted, live every day. We don't make videos. We go live with the most honest channel on YouTube TV. This is my real money, all of it. I share everything with you. We're going down 1.53 now. Under pressure, and fear begins to circulate that the AI hyperscale has peaked. The gap between the two outcomes is enormous, and it can open up within a single trading session. There we go. Intuit slides following Q3 earnings beat. So Intuit is now selling off on a beat. This could be a sign of what's to come in the next few minutes. That is why this earnings report commands attention more than any other we've done in the last 4 years beyond the technology sector. So now I told you from the start that there is something most channels are not talking about. Remember, I talk directly with the sources. I'm always live. You won't see me talking nonsense on X. I'm not sponsored by anyone. I turn down offers of sponsorship every single day. I talk to the sources, friends at Ripple, friends at the bank, friends at Robinhood. Not so much friends today, by the way, when I tell you about the crypto scam on Robinhood. Bloody awful. A deeper layer to this story is now evolving. We're down now nearly 2%. And we are here. The moment you've been waiting for is here, because the 10 facts I just gave you, those are the things everyone talks about. The numbers, the chips, the guidance, the margins. We've got, hang on, Enesis, non-gap. It's a beat of 20 cents, 319, and revenue is up as well. Beats by 14 million, another beat on Enesis. All right, but that might not be enough. We're now down to nearly 3%. Here we go. Be very careful. This could trigger a margin, could trigger leverage and the carry trade tonight. The margins. What I'm about to show you is the true structural shift. Stand by for that. Thank you very much indeed. I just muted you. Let me unmute you.
Money bag emoji, dollar bills face emoji.
Thank you for that super chat. I very much appreciate it. So what I'm going to show you now is the structure underneath all of this, what it really means. We're now down nearly 2.5%. Here we go. The forces that will matter long after the earnings report is a footnote. Hang on. Thank you.
Raider tipped $1.99 through super chat. Vug and Micron selling off.
Nvidia.
Bloody hell.
Nvidia EPS 187 beats by 10 cents. Okay, we've got a beat by Nvidia 187 beat by 10 cents. Revenue of 81 beats by 2.65 billion. Let me get into the details. Nvidia gap. EPS of 1.87 beats by 10 cents. Revenue of 81.62 billion beats by 2.65. Revenue beat by 2.65. Record data center revenue of 75.2 billion, up 92% from a year ago. We're back in the green again. Let's keep our eye on it. Nvidia announces 80 billion additional share repurchase authorization and increases its quarterly cash dividend from 1 cent per share to 25 cents per share. All right? Okay. The build out of AI factories, the largest infrastructure expansion in human history, is accelerating at extraordinary speed, said Jensen, founder of CEO Nvidia. Agentic AI has arrived, doing productive work, generating real value and scaling rapidly across companies and industries. Nvidia is uniquely positioned at the center of this transformation and as the only platform that runs every cloud power, every frontier. This has just directly come out from Jensen a few moments ago. An open source model and scales everywhere. AI is produced from hyperscale data centers to the edge. The outlook. This is important now. Here we go. The outlook. Nvidia's outlook for the second quarter of fiscal 2027 is as follows. Now, please stand by. We will go over to Jensen Huang live on the earnings call. We're going to cover it all live. We're going to cover the whole earnings. I'm not going to speak. We're going to listen in and then debate afterwards. Sensei's got the cheat sheet in the newsletter. There it is, how you can trade this. Click on that. If you want my Discord afterwards, where we're going to go live and discuss our trades. We don't share our trades live on the show. We don't put them on X or Instagram. We do them all inside Discord and YouTube Electrum. There is the link if you want that. All right. So Nvidia's outlook for the second quarter of fiscal 2027 is as follows. Revenue is expected to be 91 billion plus or minus 2% versus consensus of 86.95 billion. The question is it enough? We all knew it would be. We expected all this, but is it enough? Nvidia is not assuming any data center compute revenue from China in this outlook. Still nothing from China. So that's good if we get it, right? GAAP, non-GAAP gross margins are expected to be, remember I spoke about the 70%, 74.9% and 75% respectively, plus or minus 50 basis points. So the gap, let's go back to the gross margin. Let me share with you on the screen the gross margin. Here you go. Let me put it on the screen. Not that one there. That one there. Here we go. Gross margin. Gross margin is up. This is great news. This is great news. Gross margin, 71%. We're now going up to 74.9 to 75, and that will take us right at the top, just about the top we've ever been. This is a very good story, and we've got Nvidia going up on that margin news. All right, that is the key that I gave you in the 10 facts earlier on, what to look out for in the cheat sheet. This is good news. GAAP and non-GAAP operating expenses are expected to be approximately 8.5 billion and 8.3 billion respectively. Okay. We've got all the data. We've got all the information. Now it's about the tone and the deliverance, okay? So what we're going to do now is I'm going to spend 1 minute to get my breath because I've been going now like for an hour and a half flat out. I'm going to ask every single person to tap the like button now. There's 1,200 of you watching. Let's get everyone to subscribe. And then I'm going to give you more from the cheat sheet, how to trade it, tell you how you can join me for Discord afterwards. And then we'll do all the live trading. And then you're also going to get the earnings itself. So are you ready? I want to get how many do I want to get? I want to get 600 likes in 1 minute. Are you ready? This is going to be our biggest ever challenge of all time, but we can do it. Here we go. 600. Rock and roll, everybody. Let's do it. Let me share on the screen. 600 likes in 1 minute. Let's go. Right, we're starting out. There you go. There's the number on the screen. 286. We are halfway there. We want 600, and you can see Nvidia is going up on these margin numbers. Nvidia is going up on these margin numbers. My price target is $250. Does not mean, no, we don't have an unwind when those rates go up, all right? The market is getting hot. Can it afford this? We'll find out. All right, we want 600 likes. We are now up to 354, 368. We want to hit 600 likes in 30 seconds. Go, 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 go. Let's do it. And if you can also hit the subscribe button. We've got the live earnings call coming up as well. Let's go. 200 at 383. We're about to hit 400. We're about to hit 400. We're nearly there. 600 is the target. We've got 1,108 people watching. We're about to cover everything that you need. Let's see tonight. US rare earths. This was the deal done in China. This was the deal I told you about, the inside trades going off there in China. And if you all subscribed, we're going to go. We got 415. Come on, folks, we're running out of time. Did you subscribe? Let's see. 114,898. Let's hit 115,000 tonight. Oh, come on. Can we get to 115,000 tonight? Did we get there? Did we get to 600? Did we get to 600 likes? Let's go back to the screen and have a look. I don't think we quite did it. 429. Not quite. Never mind. We did our best. How long have we got? I've got time just to finish off the cheat sheet and bring you. Oh, there we go. We are rolling around on the subscribers. Can we get 100 more? We'll hit 115,000 tonight. And we're still on target for 1 million subscribers by the end of next year. We double our rate every month, and we hope to be the first channel to go to 1 billion. Not because it makes money, because I just want to help people. I really love just helping people and telling the truth. Quite honestly, I can't remember what I said yesterday, so I can't make up stuff because you'd all go, you said something opposite yesterday. So it's easier just to tell the truth, folks. So everything's free. You can be part of it. You can watch for free, enjoy for free. If you want to be a member, you can. If you want all that other stuff, you can. But you can enjoy the show for free. There we go. We're on the way to 115,000. Right. Let me bring you the remainder of the cheat sheet and the remainder of the facts. And then we've got Jensen Huang live on the show. Why would you go anywhere else? All right. So here we go. So if you understood all of these things today in the facts, in the numbers, that margin, when that margin came out, that's what popped Nvidia. That was the moment Nvidia popped. And of course, I said to you, is it enough to support the price? Now investors are deciding. Now my price target is 250. The banks say 300. So we got plenty of growth, but with everything going on, it's not that the business can't grow. It's the fact that the overall market will sell off because of inflation, because inflation is coming big time, and all those carry trade unwinds, you can't, it doesn't matter how great Nvidia is, it just cannot stay up. In my opinion, maybe I'm wrong, we'll find out. I've not been wrong for 3 years. So if you understood all these facts that I just shared with you, you will see Nvidia in a completely different way, and this entire AI cycle differently. So my final thoughts before we go to the call. This is part 4. 10 angles nobody else is covering. You won't hear this on social media. Remember, we're not sponsored by anyone. So the stuff that I say is directly from the sources. It's not always popular. Certainly doesn't get people to watch it on YouTube. Doesn't make clickbait, but it is what it is. And I'm interested in helping people, not selling silly videos. That's why I go live. So here is angle number 1. Nvidia as the AI central bank. Here is a framing that I think changes how you understand this company. Just bear with me a second. Markets are no longer just pricing Nvidia's quarterly revenue. They are using Nvidia as a proxy for the entire global AI investment cycle. Does that make sense? I hope it does. In that sense, Jensen Huang's earnings call has begun to function similarly to a Federal Reserve press conference. It has, no question. Markets hang on every word. And we've got 20 minutes, 24 minutes before Jensen speaks. Oh, thank you very much. New member, thank you. I will.
8,743.
Anyone who becomes a member today will play Spin the Wheel tomorrow, a members only event, and I'll do free stock analysis. How about it? How about it? You could pay 50 to 100 bucks, free stock analysis, full on production, the whole works, hours of research I will do for you. We'll play Spin the Wheel tomorrow. This is Spin the Wheel, and bring it up. Anyone who becomes a member tonight, we'll put you in the Spin the Wheel, and we'll play Spin the Wheel tomorrow. Live on the show, members only event, free stock analysis. It's just a couple of bucks, and my promise to you is the membership will never go up in price ever. No inflation ever. There's no discount codes because it's always a couple of bucks. Been that way for nearly 4 years, nearly 5 years actually. It never changes. Never. So it gets cheaper every year. All right. And one-on-one support. You can message me directly and I will pick up and I will answer one-on-one support. I allow 2 people a day into my Discord. We'll play Spin the Wheel for everyone that becomes a member today in tomorrow's members only event. Free stock analysis. Your stock. Okay. For free. So the market hangs on and will hang on every word, all the tone. They interpret pauses. You don't think so? They do. They price the future based on what one person says about what they are seeing in demand. That's why the call is so important. That is not a technology story anymore. That is a macroeconomic role. Thank you, Dim. Just become a member. Angle number 2. Let me come back out of the Spin the Wheel. Let me go back to Nvidia. It's selling off again now. Hidden 2. The hidden bottleneck. Power infrastructure. Everyone is talking about chips. Far fewer people are talking about electricity. The data centers that run these chips require staggering amounts of power, and the global power grid in many regions was not built for this. Increasingly, sophisticated investors are not just buying Nvidia, they are buying utilities, nuclear energy companies, and grid infrastructure. I've told you about Enphase Energy going to $100 from 24. That's my top pick of the year, and I'm right on it, aren't I? You see how it's nearly doubled already. Businesses, because on infrastructure businesses, because chips are only part of the AI supply chain. Without power, they are paperweights. That's all it is. This theme develops. It is quietly becoming as important as the semiconductor story itself. Angle number 3, sovereign AI. The geopolitical narrative, this one is just beginning. Countries, not companies, are now building national AI infrastructure. Governments in the Middle East, Europe, Asia, and elsewhere are purchasing Nvidia chips not for commercial profit, but for strategic national capability. Understand that. AI has become a geopolitical asset in the same category as energy reserves or nuclear technology. Incredible, right? In 20 minutes, live on the show, you'll hear from Jensen. Why are people leaving? The most important part hasn't started yet. We were like 1,200 views. We're down to 800. It's like Jensen hasn't spoken yet, right? What's going on? Like more and more people watching. When we get to Jensen, I don't want to watch anymore. What's going on? All right, anyway, Nvidia chips are no longer just commercial products. They are instruments of national policy that changes the demand picture in ways that traditional chip cycles analysis completely misses. Angle number 4, the financing conditions could trump chip demand. Here is a risk that rarely gets discussed. The AI build out is being financed in a world of elevated interest rates. Now you start to understand what I'm talking about, all right? Elevated interest rates, every data center expansion, every GPU cluster, every infrastructure investment has a cost of capital attached to it. If rates stay higher, the economics of AI investment get harder. And they're not just staying higher for longer, they're going up as well. We're now pricing in rates actually going up because of all the inflation and everything else around energy and the war in Iran. At some point, the return on AI spending has to justify the borrowing costs, which is now about to increase. That calculus. Oh, we got a special guest. Let's hear this. Just stand by a second. Bear with me.
At TH1 Suede 3th Gaming tip $2 through Super Chat. Keep it going, Marty. You're doing great. Love it.
Thank you, mate. I appreciate it. We're nearly there. 20 minutes. Oh, hang on a minute. What the heck's happened to my... Oh, no, we're all good. Bloody hell, I had a heart attack then. Heart attack. No, it's all right. We're all good. 20 minutes before the call, I literally thought my clock had stopped again. That's like freaking me out then for a moment. Anyway, so that calculus is tightening. It may not break the cycle tomorrow, but it's a constraint that grows more relevant the longer rates remain elevated. This is why I've taken my profit 67% 3 years in a row, outperformed the market 3 years in a row. What the bloody hell? With no options, no shorts, no crypto, just by buying the S&P and Coca-Cola at the right time. Buy the bottom, forget the top. I do it over and over again. I use tax lots. I use tax harvesting. I teach it every day on my Discord. It's why I've beaten Warren Buffett and every hedge fund and every market for 3 years in a row without any crypto to amplify it. And I'm currently out of margin. I'm 100% in treasury bills. That's why it's that. Gone from 5 grand to 800 grand live on the show. You've seen me do it. I've shared you all the numbers. But anyway, let's get back to it. Angle number 5, the SpaceX. Here it comes. What I mentioned tonight, why I think you're going to get a mention of it in tonight's event. SpaceX and edge computing. Wildcard markets are increasingly watching Nvidia for commentary that touches satellite AI autonomous systems, robotics and edge computing or government contracts. It's why I said to you, I'm expecting a little nod from Jensen to Elon in tonight. He won't be just all out, hello, Elon, and that's SpaceX. It'll be in a very subtle way. But listen out for it. I'm very confident it's going to happen. Any connection, however indirect, to private space ecosystem or to defense and intelligent applications can ignite across entirely separate sectors. A single sentence from Jensen Huang about where AI compute is going next could move stocks well outside the semiconductor space. All right, this is the speculative edge of the narrative, okay? But in this market, speculation moves capital at scale. Angle 6, hedge fund crowding. The paradox of success. Nvidia is one of the most wildly held stocks in institutional portfolios right now. We've now got 17 minutes to go before Jensen speaks. Stand by. That creates a paradox, and more crowded the trade, the more fragile it becomes. Not because the fundamentals are weak, but because everyone who wants to buy has already bought. They bought in that environment. Even a neutral earnings report can trigger significant selling as funds take profits, rebalance, or reduce risk. Crowded trades do not need bad news to unwind. They just need the absence of new buyers. Angle number 7, expectation saturation, the math problem. Okay, I've been speaking about the math problem. This may be Nvidia's most underappreciated risk. All right. At a certain point, the growth expectations embedded in the stock price become mathematically difficult to satisfy. Not because the business deteriorates, not because the baseline gets so high. Beating 100% revenue growth is possible. Beating 200% growth is harder. And at some point, the numbers required to meet the market expectations exceed what any business can realistically deliver. We may be approaching that zone, but yet approaching it nevertheless. So angle number 8, we're just 15 minutes to go now before Jensen takes the stage. I'll be covering it live. Retail is treating this like a Fed meeting. This is genuinely new in market history. Retail investors are now scheduling around Nvidia earnings the way a previous generation scheduled around Federal Reserve decisions or jobs reports. Whole communities of individual investors gather to watch the call live. We're doing it right now. We've got like nearly 1,000 people watching live. I'm not sure why everyone's going, I'm done now though, because Jensen hasn't, I've given you the facts, which is great, but now we're going to hear from Jensen. Surely that's more important, right? So anyway, we're holding 900. So we just lost 300, but we're doing all right. Anyway, options around the announcements and share commentary in real time. That level of retail engagement creates its own market dynamic and its own volatility. It also means sentiment can shift very fast in both directions. So when the numbers hit, which they have, of course, angle number 9, AI monetization. This is what it's all about. The question nobody can answer. Hundreds of billions of dollars have been spent building AI infrastructure. The chips have been bought. The data centers are being built. The models are being trained. And yet the question of how the spending translates into sustained commercial profit remains largely unanswered at some point. And at some point, investors will stop rewarding spending and start demanding returns. Nvidia's earnings call will not answer that question directly, but it sits underneath every conversation about the AI trade right now. So angle 10, we're nearly there. I got it all done in time. I can't believe I've actually got all this done. The shift that changes everything from chips to software. And this is the one I want you to sit with the longest. The first chapter of the AI trade was about infrastructure. Who makes the chips? Who indeed makes the chips? Nvidia won that chapter comprehensively. But the next chapter is very different. The next chapter is about who actually generates sustainable profit from AI applications, who builds the software. Now, this is important. We've spoke about this before, about the expansion, the widening, the broadening in the S&P 500. Who creates the software, the platforms, the services that turn AI capability into businesses and value? When that shift happens, and it is already beginning, the center of gravity in the AI trade moves. Nvidia will remain important important, but the companies monetizing AI at the application layer will attract the next wave of capital. So where does the money go next? The story is just beginning. So with just 13 minutes to go, let's wrap up my part and then I'll hand you over to Jensen. So let me bring this all together for you. Nvidia earnings are not just a quarterly report anymore. They're not an update anymore from a chip company. They are the most closely watched financial event in global markets right now. A read on the health of the AI investment cycle, the appetite of the world's biggest technology companies, and the durability of the single largest trade the investment industry has made in a generation. The numbers matter, the margins matter, the guidance matters most of all, but underneath all of that is a structural story that will outlast the earnings report by years. The shift from infrastructure build out to real commercial monetization, the rising importance of sovereign AI, the constraint of power infrastructure, and the quiet tightening of financing conditions. You now have a framework. You're now prepared that more than most people, certainly those that are watching X Today and crypto channels, remember, there's a reason why we have 13.8% ladies watch our channel and 1% watch Crypto Bros. They want something more useful, not entertaining, not we're all going to the moon every 5 minutes, not a baseball cap with giant headphones. God knows why they do that. There's no reason for it whatsoever, right? You want something useful. And I've hopefully provided you something that is useful so you understand the actual business and you don't necessarily need to trade it. So use it. Use the information. So if you found it useful, and I genuinely hope you did, please tap the like button, folks. It only takes a couple of seconds and it helps this channel reach more people and understand what the markets are truly about. If you can subscribe as well, that would be absolutely fantastic. I really do appreciate it. And do you know what? Don't forget, when this comes out as its own event later on, as its own video, please do leave a comment below if you found it useful. So there you go. We've now got exactly 11 minutes to go before Jensen takes the stage. So I can go to comments, I can go to questions, or I can go back to my cheat sheet. We are nearly at 500 likes. We're so close. Shall we do another song? I think we should. We have got exactly 11 minutes, just 11 and a bit minutes now. We can do it. We can get 600 likes on this event tonight. You ready? Let's do it. Let's get ready for Jensen in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 600 likes incoming. Let's go.
The year is 1991.
Here we go. 493. We hit the 500. We come down the other side. 597. Let's rock and roll. Here we go. Some little puppies for you. Come on, some little puppies for you. What about it? What about it? Is it the night? Are we going to the moon tonight? I know you love that one. We're nearly there now. 539. Jensen, 9 minutes to go. Let's get 600 likes. Everybody tap the like button, click share, get it out to your friends. Jensen Wong live on the show in just 9 minutes from now. You don't want to miss it, right? Let's go, 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 go. 541. We're nearly there. 543. Can we get to 600 live on the show tonight? 546. Let's have a look at the subscribers. We've got now 8 minutes to go before Jensen takes the stage. Let's go. Come on, everybody. This is the big story that everybody missed. USA Rare Earth inside trading going on here. All over the bloody place. Just thought I'd let you know about that. Anyway, let's see about the subscribers. How are we doing? 552. Okay, we're on the home straight. Can we get there? 114,915, 921, 922, 939. Are we going to hit 115,000? 130, 938, 940. We're getting close. We're nearly hitting our target tonight. Come on. Over 1,000 subscribers in tonight's show. 944, 945, 559 likes. We're nearly there. Come on. 946. Few seconds to go, exactly 7 minutes to go now before Jensen won. We got some jewels. 561 likes, and the subscribers is nearly there. Can we get the target? The target was 600 likes, 115,000. That's 1,000 subscribers in one show. Blows my mind. 949, 50 to go. Are we going to get up? Here we go. 567. 7 minutes to go. Jensen Wong live on the show. 569. That's exciting, isn't it? I love it. Okay. All right, we're nearly there. We'll do it by the end of the show. I'll come back to it. But by the end of the show, I'll come back to it, and I'll bet we'll be there. So we'll see how that goes. Fantastic, guys. Right. We've got just 7 minutes to go. So I'm going to give you a few things that might help you, be of use to you. First of all, in the chat right now is my Instagram. I've never done anything on Instagram, but what I've started to do the last few weeks is create little shorts, exclusive content before the shows, after the shows. I do a little thought of the day. I go into Instagram. It's completely free. There's no ads. There's nothing like that. Just little thought before the show, after the show, little thoughts and some clips from the show and so on. And we've blown up. We've gone from nothing to nearly 5,000. I think we've passed 5,000 today. It's like we'll be at 10,000 at this rate by the end of next week. If you'd like to follow me on Instagram, there is my invitation to you in the chat right now, if everyone would like to do it. If you want to follow me on X, if you like X, I do something different on X. I do some stage events from time to time, little lives now and again, some news. There is me on X. Again, I'm not sponsored by anyone. Everything you hear is real. There's no nonsense. There's no larking around. Well, there is. There's lots of larking around, but there's no making up stuff and trying to sell your stuff, all right? There you go. If you want the YouTube membership, I said anyone who became a member today will play Spin the Wheel tomorrow, a members event, free stock analysis. It's a couple of bucks to become a member. There's no inflation, never goes up in price. 586. We're 14 away from 600 likes. I bet we're getting bloody close on the subscribers as well. Flipping heck. It's amazing, isn't it? So there's that. If you want Discord, have I got time to tell you? Yes, 5 minutes. Pinned to the top and in the chat right now is my Discord. What is that? Well, I wanted to provide the best Discord server. I'm only interested in doing the best of everything. That's why the studio is ridiculously over the top. I'm the world piano man as voted by Elton John. So I want a crazy studio, right? I do lots of live concerts every Friday. If you want to follow my music channel, there it is. I do live shows. You can see videos with me, with Elton John, Paul McCartney, all sorts, right? So every Friday we do a live show. That's why the studio's like this. So I wanted the Discord server to be the best. So I looked at what everybody else was charging. People were charging up to $1,000 to do what I do. One-on-one support, live at 3 o'clock in the morning, all of my trades, 2 stage events every day. We didn't do one this morning because I was on the phone all day to Robin Hood. All of that, live, no AI, no bots, just me. That's it. With Sensei, we've got Sensei does his stage events. You get the headlines from the newsletter. All that's included. You can unlock the full newsletter, which gives you a free video training, an 8-part video training course. Direct access with me if you go pro. Send me a friend request and I accept it. We only allow 2 people a day in. That's all that you can get in. All right, that's the way it works. One-on-one support, all my live trades. I've won beaten the market 3 years in a row because I get the sources directly from the CEOs, a Wall Street contact. I'm on the phone, Robinhood, Ripple, all that kind of stuff. And I share it all with you. And there'll never be a price increase. There'll never be inflation. And that makes us the best Discord server. Ask anybody in the chat. In fact, we've got 3.5 minutes to go. If you are a Discordian, tell people in the chat what Discord is like. Tell people what it's like. If it's rubbish, say it's rubbish. All right? We might get a few trolls that aren't on Discord say that, though. Just thought about that. So anyway, whatever you want. Right, we got 3 minutes to go. Well, folks, we did it. Congratulations, we did it. We set a crate. Oh, hang on, where's that gone? Wrong one. Oh God, I pressed the wrong button. There you go. We set a crazy target of 600 likes, which is nuts, and we did it. That's amazing. So thank you ever so much. There we go. Challenge laid down, challenge accepted. 2.5 minutes to go. And the other thing that we asked you to do was, could you subscribe and get to 115,000? I doubt if we've done that. Let's have a quick look at it. I'll go down this screen here. 595, 45. There we go. 40 away. Oh, 39 away. Bloody hell. We're going to do it. We're going to do it live on the show. We're going to get 115,000 subscribers. Oh my God. That's over 1,000 in one show. That is absolutely bonkers. We got 2.5 minutes to go. Someone thought, sod this, I'll unsubscribe. That's all right. We don't care. It's all good. It's all good. We love it. All right. 2 minutes to go. Jensen 1. Can we get there in 2 minutes? 2 minutes to go for the earnings call. Bloody hell. I'm going to make sure that my earnings call's loaded up. Right. Oh, by the way, here's the poll. This is what trends on Google, by the way, not just in our YouTube show. This one here. There you go. This is this one here. This is our Google. It's on YouTube, but it trends on Google. Are you bullish, bearish? Let me refresh it. How many people have voted? 65 votes. That's all. Everyone vote on it now. Bullish or bearish? It's on the channel right now. It's in the community page. There it is. Everyone vote. 1.5 minutes to go. 1.5 minutes to go. There you go. Let's see if it goes up. 65. Then we refresh it. Watch. 65. 65. That'll go up in a minute. You watch. Everybody vote. During the call, everybody vote on that. Let's see where that is now. 1 minute to go. Expect them to be slightly late. Oh, look at that. 23 to go. I can't believe it. I can't believe how close we are. 1 minute to go. Let me make sure I've refreshed the doc. Here we go. Yeah, here it is. Here's the earnings. There's the music. There's the presentation. 45 seconds to go. We're going to hear from Jensen Wong. Are we going to get there? Come on, everybody. Come on. It's impossible. Like, everyone subscribed, right? 22 to go in 30 seconds. Our target was 115,000 tonight. That would be amazing. And look at that. Just 22 to go. 20 seconds to go. We can't do it now. It's 1 a second. We can't do it. We'll do it during the call, I'm sure. We'll come back to it. But anyway, the earnings call's about to start. Right, let me go. I'm going to unmute this. We don't want the music coming on. Right, I'm listening in. Now, I'm listening to the music, right? So they might be a minute or two late. I am listening in. When they start, I'll bring it to you. Stand by. They're loading their docs. Stand by for Nvidia earnings.
Good afternoon. My name is Sarah, and I will be your conference operator today. At this time, I would like to welcome everyone to Nvidia's first quarter earnings call. All lines have been placed on mute to prevent any background noise. After the speaker's remarks, there will be a question and answer session. If you would like to ask a question during this time, simply press star followed by the number 1 on your telephone keypad. If you would like to withdraw your question, press star 1 again. Thank you. Sashia Hari, you may begin your conference.
Thank you, and good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Nvidia's conference call for the first quarter of fiscal 2027. With me today from Nvidia are Jensen Huang, President and Chief Executive Officer, and Colette Kress, Executive Vice President and Chief Financial Officer. Our call is being webcast live on Nvidia's Investor Relations website. The webcast will be available for replay until the conference call to discuss our financial results for the second quarter of fiscal 2027. The content of today's call is Nvidia's property. It can't be reproduced or transcribed without our prior written consent. During this call, we may make forward-looking statements based on current expectations. These are subject to a number of significant risks and uncertainties, and our actual results may differ materially. For a discussion of factors that could affect our future financial results and business, please refer to the disclosure in today's earnings release, our most recent Forms 10-K and 10-Q, and the reports that we may file on Form 8-K with the Securities and Exchange Commission. All our statements are made as of today, May 20th, 2026, based on information currently available to us. Except as required by law, we assume no obligation to update any such statements. During this call, we will discuss non-GAAP financial measures. You can find a reconciliation of these non-GAAP financial measures to GAAP financial measures in our CFO commentary, which is posted on our website. With that, let me turn the call over to Colette.
Thank you, Toshiya. We delivered an exceptional quarter with revenue, operating income, and free cash flow exceeding our prior records. Total revenue of $82 billion was up 85% year-over-year and 20% sequentially. This marked our third consecutive quarter of year-over-year acceleration and the 14th straight quarter of sequential growth. A significant feat given the sheer size and complexity of our manufacturing operations. The $13.5 billion sequential revenue increase was also a record. We capitalized on the inflection in inference demand by ramping Blackwell systems across our diverse end customer base, from hyperscalers to model makers to AI cloud providers and sovereign customers. In Q1, we also allocated capital effectively across R&D, investments in our ecosystem, and share repurchases. We returned a record $20 billion to our shareholders while executing strategic investments, both upstream supply chain and downstream go-to-market ecosystem. This is critical to the market's development and our long-term position. Data center revenue of $75 billion was up 92% year-over-year and 21% sequentially, driven by sustained strength in our Blackwell architecture. And demand for GB300 and NVL72 was particularly strong, with frontier model builders and hyperscalers each having cumulatively deployed hundreds and thousands of Blackwell GPUs, marking the fastest product ramp in our company's history. Grace Blackwell is the fastest training system as well as the lowest token generation cost at inference. Spectrum X, our end-to-end Ethernet platform purpose-built for AI, is now larger than all Ethernet network peers combined. InfiniBand has also had a very strong quarter, growing more than 4x year-over-year, driven by deployments of our next-generation XDR technology. For your models, data center computing revenue of $60 billion was up 77% year-over-year, while data center networking revenue of $15 billion nearly tripled year-over-year. Before we deep dive into data center, we'd like to brief you on our transition to a new reporting framework that better reflects our current and future growth drivers. We have two market platforms, data center and edge computing. Within data center, we will report two submarkets, hyperscale and ACIE, which incorporates AI clouds, industrial, and enterprise. Hyperscale will include revenue from the public cloud and the world's largest consumer internet companies, while ACIE addresses our growth opportunities in diverse AI purpose-built data centers and AI factories across industries and countries. Edge computing highlights devices for agentic and physical AI, including PCs, gaming consoles, workstations, AI RAN-based stations, robotics, and automotive. For your reference, we have posted on our website a revenue breakdown based on our new platforms for the past 9 quarters. Moving back to our data center results. Hyperscale revenue of $38 billion was approximately 50% of data center revenue and increased 12% quarter over quarter. ACIE revenue was $37 billion and grew 31% quarter over quarter, including AI cloud revenue that more than tripled year over year. Our customers have enabled rapid stand-up of AI compute capacity. The number of partner data centers exceeding 10 megawatts has nearly doubled in just 1 year, now surpassing 80 sites. Sovereign revenue increased more than 80% year over year. Nvidia AI infrastructure is now deployed across nearly 40 countries, representing 50 trillion in GDP. As evident to our Q1 results, our customer base is diverse and growing, supported by our vast ecosystem and installed base, breadth of CUDA accelerated application, and the lowest token cost provider. We are well positioned to address a market opportunity that far exceeds that of any other AI computing platform. Demand for AI infrastructure continues to expand at an unprecedented pace. The build-out of AI factories is accelerating. The value of Nvidia AI infrastructure is rising. The price of renting an H100 has risen 20% year to date, while A100 cloud pricing is up nearly 15%. Benefiting from the versatility of our platform and continuous performance enhancements enhanced by our software stack, customers are generating profitable revenue beyond the depreciable life of their GPUs. The vast and trusted marketplace for NVIDIA compute is a critical foundation on which billions in AI infrastructure spending is being financed by the ecosystem. There are 2 primary drivers behind the accelerating build-out of AI infrastructure. First, from search and advertising to recommender systems and content understanding. The largest hyperscale workloads continue to transition from CPU to GPU-based accelerating computing. Second, the adoption of products and services native to AI is inflecting. Since the advent of ChatGPT, we have witnessed mainstream AI transition from one-shot inference to reasoning and to now agentic. AI is no longer a nice to have. AI is now a necessity for enhancing productivity across all industries and roles. This is propelling revenue acceleration across all layers of the AI cake, including energy, chips, infrastructure, models, and applications. Growth in the model layer, particularly at Anthropic and OpenAI, has been incredible, with momentum continuing to accelerate, including breakout growth in OpenAI's Codex since the launch of GPT 5.5. With analysts now forecasting hyperscale capex to exceed $1 trillion in 2027 and agentic AI beginning to proliferate all industries, AI infrastructure spending is on track to reach $3 to $4 trillion annually by the end of this decade. Our Blackwell architecture is everywhere, adopted and deployed by every major hyperscaler, every cloud provider, and every major model maker. Last month, we celebrated OpenAI's launch of GPT 5.5, co-designed for, trained with, and served on Blackwell, currently positioned at the top of artificial analysis leaderboards. Microsoft's Fairwater, the world's most powerful AI data center, is now live, ahead of schedule, powered by hundreds of thousands of Blackwell GPUs. Starting this year, AWS will add more than 1 million Blackwell and Rubin GPUs and are collaborating on Spectrum networking. At Google, Blackwell will be offered to customers in the cloud, including confidential computing capability, a new foundation for secure, high-performance AI. Our share of frontier AI compute is increasing. We have deepened our collaboration with Anthropic and are delighted to be a strategic partner to expand their compute capacity. We will support the company's growth trajectory through AWS, Azure, CoreWeave, SpaceX AI, and more. Now, with the addition of Anthropic to OpenAI, Gemini, SpaceX XAI, Meta, MSL, Microsoft AI, TML, Reflection, Perplexity, Cursor, and other major frontier labs already building on Nvidia. Our share of frontier A models will grow significantly. Today's data centers are revenue-generating AI factories. Constrained by power and capital, AI factory operators must choose the right architecture. With our extreme co-design approach, we deliver the industry's lowest token cost, the highest token throughput, and the highest ROI. MLPerf inference results are in, and once again, we swept every benchmark as Blackwell Ultra delivered the highest throughput across the broad set of models and deployment scenarios. Full stack innovations drove the 2.7x increase in throughput and a 60% reduction in the cost per token on GB300 compared to just 6 months ago. NVIDIA Compute is not just the highest performance AI infrastructure, it is the most economic and financeable. Customers do not buy GPUs, they build AI factories. And the right economic metric is not the purchase price of the GPU, it is the lifetime cost of an AI factory producing intelligence, token per watt, tokens per dollar, uptime, utilization, time to production, software durability, and asset life. NVIDIA excels at all of them. Agentic AI and reinforcement learning represents new growth opportunities for CPUs. Building on the success of our Grace CPU, Vera is arriving just in time to meet this inflection. Built on custom ARM cores and co-designed end-to-end with Rubin GPUs and NVLink, Vera will deliver up to 1.5x faster performance per core, 2x performance per watt, and 4x density per rack compared to x86-based alternatives. Vera CPU opens a brand new $200 billion TAM for NVIDIA, a market we have never addressed before. And every major hyperscale and system maker is partnering with us to get it deployed. We have visibility to nearly $20 billion in total CPU revenue this year, setting us up to become the world-leading CPU supplier. Our annual product cadence, a pace that is unmatched, remains a key pillar supporting our market position. We are on track to commence production shipments of Vera Rubin in the second half of this year, starting in Q3. By integrating 7 purpose-built chips across 5 accelerated racks, Vera Rubin will deliver up to 35x higher inference throughput and up to 10x greater AI factory revenue compared with Blackwell. As an early adopter, Google's A5X bare metal instances, which can support up to 960,000 Rubin GPUs across multiple sites, can enable customers to run their largest AI workloads on NVIDIA's optimized infrastructure. While the US government has approved licenses for H200 to be shipped to China-based customers, we have yet to generate any revenue, and we are uncertain whether any imports will be allowed into the country. As a result, consistent with last quarter, we are not including any China data center compute revenue in our outlook. Let me move to edge computing. Our edge computing market platform generated $6.4 billion, up 10% quarter over quarter and 29% year over year. Robust Blackwell workstation demand was a strong contributor to the growth, while consumer demand fell modestly due to higher memory and system prices. Our physical AI continues to gain momentum, exceeding $9 billion in revenue over the last 12 months. Our partnership with Uber will power their robotaxi fleet across nearly 30 cities and 4 continents by 2028. And in robotics, leading companies across a range of industrial, surgical, and humanoid applications are building on Nvidia's technology to develop and deploy at scale. We remain front-footed in securing sufficient supply to support our customers' growth. In Q1, we increased total supply, inclusive of inventory, purchase commitments, and prepaids to $145 billion. While we are not immune to supply challenges, we remain confident in our ability to support the growth opportunity ahead. With our intense focus, scale, and longstanding partnerships with critical suppliers, continuing to serve us well. Let me move to the rest of the P&L. GAAP gross margin was 74.9%, and non-GAAP gross margins was 75%, largely flat sequentially by Blackwell systems continued to account for most of our shipments. GAAP and non-GAAP operating expenses were up 12% sequentially, primarily due to higher compensation and an increase in compute and infrastructure costs. Our non-GAAP effective tax rate of 16% came just below our prior outlook due to favorable geographic mix. And on our balance sheet, days sales outstanding was 45 days due to favorable timing of collections. We expect to return to the mid-50s in Q2. We generated record free cash flow, $49 billion, up from $35 billion in Q4. I'd now like to update you on our capital allocation plan. First, to reiterate, our intention is to prioritize R&D and strategic investment. Both will enable us to cultivate our ecosystem, drive market growth, and strengthen our market position. As a key enabler of AI, we will make investments necessary to deliver the industry's lowest cost per token and the highest token throughput, which will help our customers and partners scale and expand the AI frontier. Return program is another key component of our capital allocation strategy. Given confidence in our long-term free cash flow outlook and our commitment to sharing our success with shareholders, we are increasing our quarterly dividend from 1 cent to 20 cents per share. We plan to review our dividend on a regular basis as we continue to scale our business. We are also announcing an $80 billion share repurchase authorization, which is in addition to the $39 billion remaining on our current plan. As we indicated at GTC, we plan to return roughly 50% of free cash flow to shareholders this year. Let me turn to the outlook for the second quarter. Total revenue is expected to be $91 billion, plus or minus 2%. We expect sequential growth to be driven primarily by data center. We are continuing to work vigorously on our supply chain ecosystem to address the incredible demand we see ahead of us, giving us full confidence in the $1 trillion in Blackwell and Rubin revenue we foresee from 2025 through calendar 2027. GAAP and non-GAAP gross margins are expected to be 74.9% and 75% respectively, plus or minus 50 basis points. For the full year, we are still expecting to be in the mid-70s. GAAP and non-GAAP operating expenses are expected to be approximately $8.5 billion and $8.3 billion, respectively. For the full year, we now expect OpEx growth to grow somewhere in the upper 40s on a year-over-year basis, driven by higher R&D and acceleration in the usage of AI tools to enhance productivity. For the full year 2027, we expect GAAP and non-GAAP tax rates to be between 16% and 18%, excluding any discrete items from material changes to our tax environment. This is lower than our prior expectation of 17 to 19 due to changes in geographic mix. That puts me at the end of this part, and I'm going to now turn this over to the Q&A with Toshio.
Thanks, Colette. We will now transition to Q&A. Operator, please pull for questions.
I'm onboarding everybody on Discord.
At this
If you
time,
want
I
to get
would
on
like to
Discord,
remind
it's
everyone,
pinned in the
order
chat.
to ask a question, press
There's
star,
Discord.
then the number
You'll
one
get an
on your
8-minute
telephone
video.
keypad. We'll pause
We
for
only
just
allow
a moment to compile the Q&A roster.
two or three people,
As
a
a
couple of people
reminder,
a day
please limit
into our
yourself to
server.
one question.
So if you want to
Thank
join,
you.
you can do that right
Your
now.
first question
And
comes
after this,
from
there will be
Joseph
a
Moore
live
with
trading
Morgan
show,
Stanley.
our
Your
live
line is
trades,
open.
live Q&A,
Great. Thank you
support.
for
Everyone
letting
can
me ask the
call in.
question. I guess I'd like to ask, what drove the change in segmentation? What's the philosophy behind giving us the numbers that way? And then can you talk about any competitive differences between the two segments and this kind of surprising CPU number that you talked about? How do you see that across the two segments as well? Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Joe. First of all, Colette meant to say we're increasing our quarterly dividends from 1 cent to 25 cents. I think that extra 5 cents would mean a lot to the large shareholders. So anyhow, let's see, Joe, on the segmentation and the description of the business. We wanted you to understand our business better. AI is very diverse, and computing is diverse. They're diverse in several ways. The first thing, of course, is AI includes languages, and depending on the different industries, it could be 3D graphics for manufacturing and industrial robotics. It could be proteins for life sciences. It could be small chemicals for life sciences or material sciences. It could be physics for the physical sciences, whether it's in the energy sector or, of course, the science labs, higher education, so on and so forth. So AI is diverse. The second thing is the applications are diverse. It could be in enterprise. It could be in the energy sector, manufacturing sector, and such. Where it runs is diverse. It could be in the hyperscale cloud. It could be AI natives. These a whole network of AI natives that are cropping up around the world. Enterprises on-prem, industrial in the factories, in the plants, all the way to supercomputing centers and the edge. Edge including, of course, what most people see, self-driving cars, robotics, but a large growing network of computers inside manufacturing plants, whether it's a chip plant or packaging or computer plants, all kinds of different types of manufacturing plants. And then, of course, in the future, every single base station, every single radio network would become an AI-powered radio network. And so where it runs. And then lastly, how it's governed. It could be operated by a public cloud, but it could also have industrial regulatory reasons that prevents it from being run in a regulatory cloud. It could be because of confidential computing. It could be because of national security reasons. Different data centers have to be built differently. NVIDIA is quite unique in the sense that we are the only company that builds all of the technology components. We build it in an extreme co-design way, in a complete end-to-end way, in a full stack way. But then we, of course, open the platform so that it could be integrated into all the different environments. But some environments just require, an enterprise, for example, require a company who has all of the technologies working together so that they don't have to build it. They would like to buy it and operate it. And so there's many different segments of the data center market where NVIDIA's total solution, fully integrated solution with full stack, but still open, that way of producing or delivering products is really, really important. And so if you look at our different segments, the way we broke it out into 3 large segments, you take all of the words that I just said, and you try to find the simplest factoring of it. It would be the hyperscale clouds. That would be one large segment. And within that segment, there's 3 different ways that we operate. First way is that we help the hyperscale clouds accelerate their data processing and machine learning workloads. We accelerate and support their AI processing inside. We also, of course, bring a lot of business, NVIDIA ecosystem business, to their public clouds. And so that's one segment. The second segment is AI natives, enterprise on-prems, industrial on-prems, and sovereign AI. That segment is growing incredibly fast because everybody needs AI, and we're going to see AI being adopted by every industry, every country, every company. And so everybody wants to build it in a different way. And the fact that we provide the entire solution, it makes it much easier, makes it possible at all for people to be able to build these things. And then, of course, the robotic edge. Yesterday's computing was largely about personal computing. In the future, it's going to be about personal AI. And that personal AI, one example of it is the self-driving car. It's a robotic system that's essentially your personal AI. And of course, there'll be all kinds of different types of robotic systems, including even the base station radio network, as I mentioned, is going to be essentially a robotic system. So that's the reason why we broke it all apart this way. It's the simplest way of understanding our business. Each one of them have different stacks in a lot of ways. They have different operating systems. They operate in a different way. We go to market very differently in each one of them. The easiest go to market, of course, is the hyperscaler because there are only 5 or 6 of them. But the rest of them, the rest of the industry represents a couple of 250,000 companies around the world. That go to market is very complex, very diverse. Your understanding of AI has to be extremely diverse. And as you know, NVIDIA has the largest suite of acceleration libraries in the world, from computational lithography to fluid dynamics to particle physics to molecular dynamics, to the list goes on. And all of those libraries are essential for us to engage the vertical industries that represents the second and the third category. Okay, so anyways, it's really about the fact that our business has now evolved and grown to such a large scale. It's helpful to segment it so that you have a better understanding of how our business works.
Your next question comes from Ben Reitzes with Melius Research. Your line is open.
Stand by. I have some
Hey guys,
trading
thank you so
indicators
much.
for you,
I wanted
which
to
have
ask
proved
Jensen,
very
I want to ask
effective.
you about your
And one
philosophy
person's
on
going to get a
growth.
really, really good
Your
deal
data
on the
center
newsletter.
business ex
Stand
China
by
grew about
with all that in it
120%
for free,
in the
contained
quarter,
inside.
and then you're guiding about 100. CapEx at the hyperscalers is forecast by many, including myself, to grow 90 to 100% this year. And you talked about data center, still on track to be 3 to 4 trillion by the end of the decade. I was just wondering, is the goal for the company to grow faster than hyperscaler CapEx? Are you comfortable in kind of endorsing that view? And, do you still see hyperscaler CapEx kind of still growing after this year at a very rapid clip? Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thanks, Ben. So first of all, we should be growing faster than hyperscale CapEx. And the reason for that is illustrated by the segmentation that I just described. Our data center business has 2 large parts. It has more parts than that, but we combined it into 2 large parts for simplicity's sake. It's much more complex than the 2 large parts, but I combined it into 2 so that it's at least easier to understand, okay? And so if you look at the first part is hyperscalers. That's the hyperscale CapEx that you were just talking about. And there are $1 trillion this year. I have every expectation it's going to grow from here for fundamentally good reasons. This is the way computing is going to work in the future. And if they don't have the compute, they won't have the revenues. It is very clear. Compute is revenues. Compute is profit. And so the world is changing. Software didn't used to use SaaS, it didn't used to use as much compute, but AI requires a tremendous amount of compute. But you could do, of course, incredibly more, which is the reason why we heard about the AI frontier AI companies, both Anthropic and OpenAI, growing at an incredible pace. The fact that they can grow within 1 month what some of the SaaS companies would have taken a decade to grow, tells you something. And so the first category is hyperscale, and the CapEx is at $1 trillion, and it's growing towards the 3 to 4. The second category is all of the AI native clouds. They're regional. They're all over the place. There are startups all over the world supporting those companies. They're enterprise, 250,000 enterprise companies around the world. Many of them will have to build or want to build AI factories for themselves to operate. Many industrial companies, there's no choice but to put the computer where the context is, where the action is. You can't put that in the cloud. It has to respond reliably, quickly, every single time. Can't imagine, a chip plant, a chip fab being connected to a cloud service provider. Doesn't make any sense. And so the second category, and then sovereign AI clouds. And so there's a whole category of data centers that semi-custom chips just don't apply, because these data centers want to buy systems, they want to operate systems, they don't want to design, they don't want to build it themselves. And so the second category is extremely diverse. Instead of 5 or 6, 7 companies representing the revenues associated with our first category, the second category is hundreds, thousands of companies, and in the future it'll be hundreds of thousands of companies with a large number of companies with smaller installations. And that category is going to continue to grow at incredible pace. This second category, when I talk about physical AI and I talk about how the rest of the $100 trillion industry that has not been impacted by IT in the last 30 years, it's about to be impacted by AI. That is the segment that I'm talking about. The second cluster is growing incredibly fast. Our share of that, of course, is very, very large. We're fairly unique in our ability to be able to serve this industry. Our platform is built like it's vertically integrated so that everything works. But then we disassemble it so that people can build and buy it in the configuration they want and assemble it the way they like. And so this second category is fairly poorly understood because there are just so many small companies or so many companies, and each one of the installations are relatively small compared to, of course, one of the hyperscalers. And so if you look at the segmentation and the size of each, you could see that, in fact, we're growing share in the hyperscalers because we now have much bigger support from Anthropic, a new partner of ours, and we're helping them expand their capacity greatly in the coming years. And then the second, very few companies have exposure into the second category because of the platform solution that we have.
Your next question comes from CJ Muse with Cantor Fitzgerald. Your line is open.
Yeah, good afternoon. Thank you for taking the question. You have Vera Rubin coming soon, and you obviously have great insight into coming updates to frontier models and new techniques to optimize around diverse AI workloads. With investors keenly focused on your market share and inference, how do you see Vera Rubin and your extreme code engineering impacting your share of the inference market, as we look into late 26, 27?
Well, we are growing share in inference, and we're growing share in inference very, very quickly. And the reason for that is this year, the number of frontier model companies grew. And so there's Cursor and Perplexity, and there's some new model companies, TML and Reflection, and the list goes on. And so the number of frontier model companies has grown. And we added Anthropic to our partnership this year. They're expanding incredibly fast. We've partnered with them to secure computing capacity across Azure, AWS, CoreWeave, I forget who else we've already announced, but there's a whole list of others that we are bringing online for them. And so the amount of capacity that we're going to bring online for Anthropic this year and next year is going to be quite significant, very significant. And so we're growing, and our coverage of Anthropic has been largely zero until just recently. And so we're gaining share tremendously fast in inference. Vera Rubin is going to be even more successful than Grace Blackwell at this point. Every single, I can't think of one, every single frontier model company will jump on Vera Rubin from the get-go. And that wasn't true before on Blackwell. And so Vera Rubin is off to a tremendous start, and it'll surely be more successful than even Grace Blackwell. So I think the end of your answer, CJ, is that we're gaining share in inference. Let me go back again to the question that Ben was asking. Remember, so far, everything that I've just explained in the inference question is really focused on hyperscale. Remember, there's a whole second category of AI data centers that we serve almost uniquely. This segment is very fragmented, requires a really well integrated platform solution, and a very large go-to-market. And that segment, all of the inference, 100% of that, the vast majority of that, is NVIDIA. And then, of course, physical AI. NVIDIA is practically the only company serving physical AI today. And we've been working on physical AI for a long time. And so that is also growing. So our share of inference is growing very quickly.
Your next question comes from Timothy Arcuri with UBS. Your line is open.
Thanks a lot. Jensen, I wanted to ask about the traction you're getting with some of these custom merchant things you're doing, stuff like CPX and LPX. And I just wanted to ask and see sort of, you've talked before about fast instance being, I think, 20% of the market. So I would imagine you're getting pretty good traction with LPX. So can you just talk about that and maybe, also how that fits into your broader platform strategy? Thanks.
The LPX is designed for low latency and high token rate, but its throughput is low. Its model size capacity is low, and its context processing, its ability to absorb a lot of context, for example, for software coding, for agentic workloads, its ability to absorb a great deal of context is lower. And so the challenge is simply, and I've explained before that the use case for LPX is not broad. It's intended for somebody who has a fairly large portfolio of different types of token services, and for the high token rate, maybe these services are quite premium. And the number of customers is not significant, but the token rate is very high. And so that remains exactly consistent with what I've said before, and I still expect that. And so I expect that LPX and other SRAM-based decode focused token, high token rate generated focused accelerators will be a niche product for some time to come. As you know, Grace Blackwell and Vera Rubin, we support the entire life cycle of AI, from the data processing, preparing for training, data processing, to pre-training, to post-training, reinforcement learning, all the way to inference. Grace Blackwell is the best platform in the world to do all of that. And if in certain circumstances, so long as the customer, the provider already has a high token rate service that they can offer, then we can tack on an LPX and they could deliver that service even better. And so that's how I see the market. And I think whether it's 20% or 10% just depends on where we are in the development of AI. I think today it's a lot less than 20%. Someday these premium tokens could be 20%. And I'm, we're ready to work with service providers to enable this capability. I'm excited about it.
Your next question comes from Vivek Arya with Bank of America Securities. Your line is open.
Thanks for taking my question. Jensen, there's a lot of excitement around CPU for agentic applications and just a lot of noise around the number of CPUs actually exceeding the number of GPUs. And I was just hoping that you could kind of, give your perspective that, first of all, is this an incremental workload? Is this kind of cannibalizing what the GPU would have done otherwise? And then secondly, the 20 billion number that you gave, is that for standalone Vera CPUs, or is that kind of already included in that Vera as part of Vera Rubin? So just if you could educate us on the role of CPU versus GPU. Is it cannibalistic? Is it incremental? And then the 20 billion number, how to kind of put that in context with what you sell, right? Which is usually the CPU as part of the GPU. Thank you.
The 20 billion is for a standalone CPU, and remember, we have Vera is used in 3 ways as a standalone CPU, 4 ways. Let me just start with the one that you already know. The first way is Vera Rubin, and we'll sell millions of Rubins, and every 2 of them is connected to a Vera. And of course, we price those too, and they're properly priced. And so that's number 1 use case. The second use case is Vera standalone CPU. The third is Vera with CX9 and the software stack for storage. And then Vera with CX9 with a software stack for security and compute isolation and confidential computing. Okay, so each one of those use cases is built on Vera, and my sense is that we'll be supply constrained throughout the entire life of Vera Rubin. There are 4 different use cases of it, and but anyhow, the answer to your question is of the 20 billion is a standalone. With respect to CPU use, an agent is essentially what people call a harness. The agent has a harness that does and the harness could be OpenClaw, it could be Hermes. Claude Code is essentially a harness around Claude, around the Opus model. OpenAI's Codex is a harness around the GPT 5.5 model. And so these are harnesses, and these harnesses provide for things like I/O, orchestration, memory management, tool use connected to tools, for example, browsers and things like that, C compilers, Python compilers. And so the harness runs on CPU, and the tool use runs on CPUs. So for example, if the AI were to do a search or do a browser, use a browser, that would run on the CPU. The world has a billion users, human users. My sense is that the world is going to have billions of agents. Not today. I mean, we're going to grow into it, but it will have billions of agents, and those billions of agents will all use tools, and those tools are going to be like PCs, just like us humans using PCs today. In the future, you'll have an agent using PC, and so if you kind of think along the lines of in the future, you pick your favorite number of agents at the moment. At the moment, call it a few 100,000, but in the future, call it eventually a few billion. I could imagine them all using effectively having PCs that they can all use. And so but the large language, every one of those agents are going to spin off sub-agents, and every time they spin these off, you're going to need to do inference. That's where the thinking happens. All of the thinking happens on GPUs. All of the orchestration essentially runs on CPUs. and the subagents, when they're spun off, when they're thinking, they use GPUs. Whenever the agents use simulators, those can run on CPUs or GPUs, which is the reason why we're working so closely with Cadence and Synopsys and to accelerate all of the world's tools. We're accelerating all of the world's tools and data processing engines and database engines because agents use these tools and they have lower patience tolerance than humans, and they want things to happen quickly. And so we're accelerating all of the world's tools so that it runs on CUDA. And you could see us doing that, when I work with Cadence and Synopsys and Siemens and companies and Adobe, and that's because we're trying to get all of the world's tools to run on GPUs because they already have GPUs and it's a lot faster. So we're going to need a lot more CPUs, and Vera was designed to be an agentic CPU. The CPUs of the past were designed to have many cores so that it could be easily rentable. People rented cores. Well, agents don't rent cores. They just want the work to be done fast. The economics of the past was dollars per core. That's the economics of cloud computing of the past. The economics of AI of the future is tokens per dollar or dollars per token. And so what we need to do in the future is to generate tokens, process tokens as fast as possible. And that's what Vera does incredibly well. So we're expecting to be very successful with Vera, but ultimately what we're doing is we're building infrastructure for AI, and it needs incredibly great storage. That's the reason why we built STX. It needs incredibly good networking. That's why we have Spectrum X. It needs incredibly great GPUs, of course, and inferencing ability. That's the reason why NVLink 72. It needs incredibly great security and confidential computing, which is the reason why Vera Rubin is the world's first platform with end-to-end confidential computing. And it needs, great CPUs. We've got it all covered.
Your next question comes from Stacy Raskin with Bernstein Research. Your line is open.
Hi, guys. Thanks for taking my question. I wanted to go back to the segmentation. So first of all, I'm just curious, where do you put the neoclouds across those two segments? Are they in hyperscale or are they in the AI cloud? Part of me assumes the latter, but I'm not so sure. And then if I just look at the magnitude of them, I mean, they're both about the same magnitude now. It almost sounded to me like you were suggesting that you thought the latter, the AI cloud, would grow faster, maybe going forward than hyperscale. Is that what you're trying to say, or do you just see like the same kind of growth coming from both segments?
First of all, you're correct that AI native clouds don't build chips, don't design their own chips, and they don't want to. They can't really assemble, unrelated parts together into an AI factory. And their patience, their tolerance for time to first token is extremely low. And their need for an architecture that has a great deal of offtake so that it runs every model, has customers from everywhere, is incredibly high. And so that's the reason why NVIDIA's architecture is so perfect for them. We offer every component, and whatever we don't offer, our ecosystem of partners offer it, and it's all fully integrated. It all works together. The number of customers that could rent it from an AI native is incredibly high. Basically, every single AI builder, every AI native startup around the world, SaaS companies, enterprise companies, industrial companies, and so our computing, our architecture is the most rentable of any computing platform in the world. So it's the most performant. It's the easiest to put together. It's the most rentable, has the best TCO, and it's the easiest to finance. And so all of those properties are quite unique to the needs of AI natives. It's in the second category. They're very similar to even OEMs and so on and so forth, large enterprises and so forth, surprisingly. Okay, so we put that in the second category. If you look at that segment, it started growing after the AI ecosystem developed in the hyperscale. Hyperscale developed AI first for a lot of reasons. They have great computer science, they have excellent data center capability, and they also focus largely on consumer applications, which, if not perfect, is not the end of the world. It enhances the service so long as it enhances the service. And so for many of the other applications, industrial applications, enterprise applications, until the AI is very capable and does really productive work and does it safely, and it could do it in a way that can actually generate impact and income, it doesn't really get used. And so you expect the second category to develop slower than hyperscale, and you could see that in the numbers. However, long term, if you look at industrial and enterprise, clearly that's where future economics is going to be, because it represents some 50-80 trillion dollars of the world's economy, and so and it's going to be larger than that because of AI. And so I expect the second category to be larger over time, both in the near term. Over the next several years, I think it's a foregone conclusion. Both are going to grow incredibly fast. I expect the second category to still grow faster, but both are going to grow incredibly fast. And then I'm hoping that within the next 5 years, physical AI and robotics segment is going to grow incredibly fast.
Your next question comes from Jim Schneider with Goldman Sachs. Your line is open.
Good afternoon, and thanks for taking my question. Back at GTC, I believe you discussed a $1 trillion visibility into both your Rubin and Blackwell platform revenue, but I believe that excluded things like LPX, Rubin CPX, and the Vera CPU racks. Could you maybe give us a sense about whether the Vera CPUs are going to be the biggest source of upside above and beyond that $1 trillion? Are you contemplating other sort of combinations of products, including CPUs, that would allow you to gain an even greater share of that total TAM? Thank you.
In terms of incremental above the trillion, I would say one, the continued growing of share of the frontier AI models. I'm expecting to grow more share, and so I'm expecting that to grow. Number two, we didn't include any Vera CPU, standalone CPU, in that number, and so I expect that to be the second largest. The TAM is, of course, quite large in agentic systems, and all of our customers are quite excited about Vera, and we're going to sell a whole bunch of Veras. And then third would be LPX, because as I explained earlier, LPX is designed because of its SRAM architecture, it has the benefit of very low latency, very, very high interactivity, but it's also its throughput, its context processing ability is also quite limited. And that's just kind of the nature of SRAM type based systems. And but the combination, we'll be able to address the entire spectrum of AI from pre-training to post-training to inference to agentic systems through the combination of Vera Rubin and LPX.
Your next question comes from Joshua Buchalter with TD Cowen. Your line is open.
Hey guys, thanks for taking my question and congrats on the great results. Colette, I believe in your prepared remarks you mentioned GB300 is sort of the fastest ramp in the company's history. How should we think about Vera Rubin against this benchmark? It's obviously a new architecture at the silicon level, but it's a similar rack. Does that mean we should expect a similar slope to the Vera Rubin ramp as the GB300, or should it be a bit more gradual given the new silicon? Thank you.
Yeah, well, we have indicated for a while that we will be launching Vera Rubin in the second half. We will start in Q3. That will be our initial pieces together. And then once we get to Q4, we're we're probably going to start to see our ramping continue. It's hard to say at this point what will be a faster ramp. But again, we have demand already planned. We've got POs. We've got almost all of our major customers ready to go. And these are very complex systems that we need to put together. So I think it's just about the timing that it's going to take for us to get that into market. Nothing else other than getting from production of all of the different systems that we have ready for ordered. So a little early to say, but yes, we're going to start in Q3 and continue to ramp into Q4. And Q1 of next year certainly is going to be very big as well.
There are no further questions at this time. Toshiya Hari, I turn the call back over to you.
Thank you. Before I hand it over to Jensen, please note Jensen will be giving the keynote at GTC Taipei at Computex on June 1st. We will also be participating at the TD Cowen TMT conference on May 28th and the Bank of America Global Technology Conference on June 4th. Our earnings call to discuss the results of our second quarter of fiscal 2027 is scheduled for August 26th. With that, here's Jensen to close us out.
This was an extraordinary quarter. Demand has gone parabolic. The reason is simple. Agentic AI has arrived. AI can now do productive and valuable work. Tokens are now profitable, so model makers are in a race to produce more. In the AI era, compute capacity is revenue and profits. NVIDIA is the platform of this era. Of all the platforms in the world, NVIDIA Compute supports the richest diversity of demand. Let me highlight my top 5 things. First, NVIDIA is the only platform that runs every frontier AI model. With the addition of Anthropic to our existing partners, OpenAI, xAI, Meta MSL, Gemini, and many others, our share of frontier AI is growing. Second, we are in every hyperscale cloud, supporting their core data processing and machine learning workloads, internal AI services, as well as supporting their demand for NVIDIA users in their public cloud services. Third, our full stack complete AI factory solution and vast global ecosystem let us uniquely address new AI data center segments, new AI cloud natives, new AI native clouds, and sovereign AI clouds, and on-premises enterprise and industrial infrastructure. This is that second category I was talking about earlier. Fourth, NVIDIA CUDA extends all the way to the edge. Robotics, autonomous vehicles, embedded medical instruments, AI, RAN, telco, base stations. The next wave is physical AI, with billions of autonomous and robotic systems operating in the physical world. This is the third segment we were talking about earlier. And rounding out the top 5 things, we have a major new growth driver, Vera, the world's first CPU purpose-built for agentic AI. Vera opens a brand new $200 billion TAM for NVIDIA, a market we have never addressed before. And every major hyperscaler and system maker is partnering with us to deploy it. The world is rebuilding computing for agentic AI and robotic physical AI. NVIDIA sits at the center of these transitions. We built NVIDIA Compute platform over 3 decades. One architecture, vast ecosystem, extreme co-design across chips, systems, networking, and software. We built it ahead of this moment so that when agentic AI arrived, NVIDIA would be ready. It has arrived. Look forward to catching up next time.
This concludes today's conference call. You may now disconnect.
There we go. The call is over. Let me just wrap that out there. Leave that. That was an abrupt end from Jensen, wasn't it? It looked a bit odd. But anyway, what we're going to do now is we're going to discuss the trades, what we do next. You can see I took my profits. I sold all my Nvidia. And as you can see, this is my portfolio, 100% now, $800,000 in total across all my portfolios here on Robinhood. And as you can see that's T-bills. I'm all in treasury bills like Warren Buffett. I don't think that the rally is going to continue. I think there is a carry trade coming and a crash coming, and I've taken my profits. 69% this year, last year the same, similar to the year before. 3 years in a row I've beaten the market. So what we're going to do now is we're going to switch over to Discord for our live trades, our live one-on-one support. We're talking to people individually. We have a live event happening in 15 minutes. So I'm going to set it up now. So it's your last chance to join us on Discord if you want. So only a couple of bucks for our subscription. It's the reason why it's so cheap. It's the same as people who charge $1,000. There are people who do that for less than what I do, right? It's one-on-one support, 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm trading live. I'm sharing it all with you. And we've been very successful for 3 years in a row. So at the end of the day, if you want to be part of a real service with no AI, no bots, no trolls, just real good traders, investors, great community, you've got a few minutes to join us. There is the Discord link. Also, what we're going to do is share with you some information. We're going to give one person now, just one person, 40% off all our trading indicators and our training course, which are all included for free inside the newsletter. There it is. There is the link in the chat for you now. All right, we're going to go to Discord in a second, but there it is. Let me just double check some information just coming through to me. Hang on, bear with me. Just got to do this. I've just got some stuff happening at once. Just bear with me. Somebody wants to join me live in Discord right now, so I'm just going to send this message to them. So, hi, Win. I'm still live on the show, but you've just been accepted into our server. Congratulations. We only let a couple of people in a day. You've now got about an hour to choose your subscription. If you choose it in the next 10 minutes, you can join us on our stage event, which is 1/4 the hour. If you choose Pro, there is no inflation ever, no price increase ever. You can send me a friend request. I'll accept it. Direct access with me. All my trades 24 hours a day. 2 stage events every day on trading days. Sandy does stage events as well with the chart shows. You can see all the headlines from the newsletter inside Discord for free. And if you ever want to upgrade, you can. Also, you can go into the gaming channel and win Luca coins for free and then spend them on free prizes. We're giving more prizes and perks and benefits for those coins as well. But that's it. If we don't hear back from you shortly, we'll assume you don't wish to go ahead, as there is a waiting list on our server and it will be cancelled out. Thank you very much. Okay, I'm just sending that to Win. Right, let me come back to here. So, oops, daisy, not that one there. I'll do that one in a second. There's people trying to join the server right now. Where is it? I need to come back out of there. And 18, I'm trying to get to my message from Sensei. So, yes, Sensei's asked me to mention to you about the chart course. There's a full training course included inside the newsletter. One person's going to grab that. There's the link right there, 40% off. And I'll tell you what, the person that claims that, do it right now, and Sensei will tell me if you've done it, and I'll give them 500 Luca coins, which you can then trade up for things as well. So I'll do that as a little gift because it's been a great night tonight. So if you want that, I'll do that. And he's asked me to mention about the chart course indicators as well. Our indicators, how to trade. More at the morning newsletter every morning. You get the newsletter and the net worth tracker, etc. All right. One other thing. Yeah, one person. He said 40% off. It's our best ever deal. And he's just talking to me now. Hang on. I might bring him on the phone. I might be able to bring him on the phone, bearing in mind he's taking care of his 1-month-old baby now, I think. It's about a month anyway. Let's see if he comes on. Sensei, if you're watching, just call. You can just speak to me. It'll be easier. Just call me. It'll be easier. All right. So what I'm going to do now is I've got just 10 minutes to go before that event starts. So I'm going to create the event right now. Sensei, if you want to call me, just call me. Be easier. That sounds a bit silly, doesn't it? If you want to call me, just call me. Yeah, kind of obvious, really. Right, let me create an event. So it's a stage event. It's a pro event. It's not a Monday morning, of course. It's for just the pro members. Pro event. And I'm also going to tell you about my crypto scam as well. Speaking to Robinhood today. I've been on the phone all morning. That's why there wasn't a show. So very alarming information I'm going to share with my Discordians first, and tomorrow I'll do a live event on it. So if you want that as well, you've got the chance to join the newsletter and Discord right there. It's also pinned to the top. So pro event, let me create that now. NVDA earnings. Okay. We'll call it that. It's 1:15. Upload the image. Drop that in there. Okay. Apply. Okay. That's a bit weird. Remove the image. We'll try that again. Why did that do that? No bloody idea why. I'm not even going to worry about it. It is what it is. Oh, now it's fine. Okay, create the image. Right, create the event. That goes live in just 7 minutes. Copy link. Everybody else, I'm now going to send you to the extra channel where you can watch the information on NVIDIA, what you missed from the beginning. So with a live replay. So you can all chat live. Stand by for that. Okay. Let me give everybody in Discord the link for this event. Lucas chat. Whoa, how busy is it in the Discord today? Woo, hell. Live now. Bloody hell, there's a lot of people in Discord today. Okay, I've never seen it so busy. Right. Okay, that's that. Okay, right. I'm going to send you all now to Extra. So what you're going to see me do now, this is something quite unique. You know, like Bloomberg, play the old stuff over and over again. But what we do is this. Watch this. We replay the live stream. So you can chat live to people live, right? They just play the same old video over and over again. So watch over here. I'm going to go over here to the Extra channel. This is the Extra channel. You stay watching this and you see what happens, okay? Watch this. I'm going to go over here. You can't hear me now. I know, a bit weird. All right, don't worry. It all makes sense in a minute. Okay, scroll up to here. Earnings. Watch it on the screen. Everything you just missed, the whole analysis on Nvidia. Can you still hear me? All right. Okay, do that. With live chat. Okay, so if you're watching right now, you're seeing me rewind this show so you can watch it live. The purpose of that, rather than just watch this one live, is you can actually talk to people live. There's live chat. There won't be live chat in a replay. The purpose of this is, it says on the screen, it's a restream of today's show. You can get all the analysis on NVIDIA. Also, if you're a fan of the show and you love to support us, this is how we reach other countries, because this will go live around the world at different times and people will be in here watching this throughout the night at different times. So they're going to get the NVIDIA earnings in China and Japan and Australia and everything else. If you want to join us there, it will take you there automatically. So I'm going to wrap this up. Sensei just sent me a message from Sue 387. Sensei's training indicators are amazing to use. I haven't lost a trade since using them. There you go. Fantastic. Hasn't lost a trade since using them. That's from Sue H387, just coming from Discord. Absolutely wonderful. Right. So what we're going to do now is send you over to the Extra channel. We're showing you the puppies. You know it's the beginning then, right? And we're going to be over on Discord in 4 minutes. The rest of you, please now go over to the Extra channel. It will take you there. Let me give you the link for it. Some people prefer to click on the link. They prefer that. So here we go. Here we go. And live now on Extra. We're going to do live Q&A, live support. People can phone in on Discord right now, or you can watch what you just missed. Live now on Extra. Let me make doubly certain that the indicators, whoops-a-daisy, are going there. I know I've done it right, but I always like to check anyway. I don't know why I do. There we go. Customization. Yep, that's good. And I know I've done that one right. my God, what's going on? Well, I'm breaking everything here this afternoon. Yeah, customization. Yeah, that's good. Right, that's it from me. I will see you on Extra right now for the replays, for all the analysis of everything you need to understand with the business. If you want to support us, if you've watched it already, please mute it and watch it anyway. It helps us grow in other countries. If not, it gives you the analysis you need. Or join us on Discord for the after show party where we're going to go through indicators. We might get some special guests in there tonight. Got some big stuff tomorrow. Might get some guests in there. You might want to join us. All right, that's it from me. Thank you much indeed. See you on Extra. See you on Discord right now. And then back in the morning. Big day tomorrow. Got a CEO live on the show. Might be a little taster in Discord right now. You won't want to miss that. There's a reason to be a member right there. Members only get the interviews from the CEOs. For a couple of bucks, you speak to a CEO. Who will it be in the morning? That's it from me. See you on Extra. See you on Discord. Take care of yourselves and each other. Ta-ra for now. Bye-bye.